Okay, hello guys and girls. Here's an interesting little thing that I've just come across, and what I'm using is Snap-on Ethos Tech, which is my own piece of equipment. We don't have any other diagnostic equipment for small engines in our workshop, okay, because we're a dealership. But however, I use this as and when is needed. It's not the best thing, but it is pretty powerful. Okay, what I'll say here is that I've got stuff stuck in the memory. Okay, and I did a fault code reading first of all. I'll read these out and then I'll show you to them. As P0101, mass or volume airflow circuit range or performance. That's a fault there. P0403, gas or EGR control circuit. And diesel particulate filter regeneration frequency. Now this is important, okay, and I'll explain this as we get on through the video. And then we have P0115A, which is low fuel level, forced limited power. Right, so basically when I came to the vehicle, first of all I got was a driver's description that it had lack of power. So the first thing I looked at, forced limited power, okay, which is the bottom one. All right. Now what you'd think is like, oh, okay, that's an easy one. He's run out of fuel, topped it up, and it's gone into limp mode. Okay. However, I wiped the codes and then took it for a road test, and it was pretty damn obvious straight away that it wasn't that at all, because there was a hissing of an air. Well, I mean, that's a no-brainer anyway. You know that there's a turbo pipe split. I've lost the function of the full rev range and the mill lights back on. What's happened now? Hang on, I'll just get it so you can see me. What's happened now is that it's gone into limp mode, and I've got a noise. You can't hear it, but it sounds like something's blowing past a pipe. Yeah. I'm now going to go back in and see what DTCs we've got, and go from there, because what it's giving me now is a true fault, which sometimes you don't get when you first look in the memory, because what you'll find is a load of crap in there, stuff that people repaired and not wiped the fault codes. But I've got something now. I've got the mail light on, and it's positive that I've got an issue with it. Yeah. Only one I could get up was P0101. Okay. Okay, that's a bit of a help me thing, isn't it? 01001 or whatever. Anyway, yeah, so this is mass airflow, and this is a lack of pressure to the engine. Okay. Now the other code regarding the regeneration. Okay. Now I looked at the vehicle. This thing sits for long periods of time while it's using its cherry picker. It's running off the PTO. The PTO is driving the hydraulics. So a lot of these vehicles are through experience. The DPF issues, in fact it's regenerating quite a lot, or the fact it might even have a blocked DPF, is because they sit for long periods of time and they're not running on a highway. Okay, so that's another issue in itself. But what I'll say here is with this blown turbo hose, which was very evident, basically it's split. Yeah, usually they chafe on a bracket, which I'll show you just down here, and they chafe until they split. Now there's a modification, and this pipe here, which compared to the other one, there's quite a bit of difference. This is a Land Rover modified part. Okay, so when you fit it, it looks like it fits much better. Now, according to most folk that do Ford Rangers as well, it's a very similar issue. They split intercooler hoses quite often. Okay, so yeah, that was fitted and then road tested again, and road tested quite extensively, at least 5 miles, and it was okay after then. So I mean, from the point of view of looking at the vehicle, first of all, without even running it, the first thing I do is plug in and then check for fault codes. That's one of the ways you can do it. The other way is to do it the old-fashioned way and try to work it out, which doesn't always work. You do need to plug in and to check what fault codes you've got. Okay. Now, with regards to the EGR, nothing came back up again, so I presume that it was the boost pressures or the lack of it that was kicking something up with this. So anyway, you need to be able to wipe the fault codes before it comes out of limp mode and get the MIL light off, which is the malfunction indicator light on the dashboard. Yeah. Without that, you're stuck in limp mode, and maybe it'll come off after you've done a couple of drive cycles. Okay, but I don't have time to do that. So anyway, the job's done and finished, and that's it. So this is basically this is what happens. P0101. It might not be a split hose. It might not be as obvious as that. It could be a leaky manifold gasket or a damaged intercooler, something like that. But it is basically the performance has dropped for what air's coming in to what air is being pressurized and pushed into the engine is different. Now the ECU will monitor that, and when it thinks that it's not right, it will then start to throw its dummy out of the pram, as it were. So, you know, it's just a little thing here, and I hope you learned something by it. This is a very extensive sort of subject, this diagnostics. The thing is with, I'll just say this, the thing is with this, when you look at diagnostic or DTC codes, you have got to first of all not go for the first thing it shows you. It's more a case of being deductive and then working through them. What system affects another? The input, the air pressure input from the turbo is going to affect the exhaust system as well, and there might be something really silly that's doing it. In this case, it's quite a no-brainer because we could hear the hitting. I'm afraid I couldn't capture it on video. The problem is when you stand still with it and try to rev it, you won't get the pressure. It's only when the vehicle's under load that you will then hear it, because then the boost pressure is working, okay, at a high rev range. So yeah, it's an ongoing process, unfortunately, when it comes to learning stuff like this, and you never quite get to the end, you never quite master it, but one can only but try. Anyway, so I hope that was helpful, and let's see what happens in the next video. At this point last time, the mill light came on, give you a couple of accelerations and that was it, but this time it's cured it. So it's alright, but I'm just going to give it a little bit more of a run on a road test, and then I'll have a look and see. Just have a look, make sure there's no other codes that have popped up. The thing is, if you ain't got the right air going into the engine, the DPF is going to pick up a complaint, maybe. Not this time though, I think we're alright. It's prattly old Land Rover, you can see by the camera vibrating like hell. Yeah, the brakes, oh yeah, they ain't too bad. But this is a slug. This Land Rover's a slug. It's really low geared, plus it's got that jerry pegger on the back, which makes it feel like it wants to tip over. So I've got to be careful when I drive this. It's